Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Finally.
We get there eventually.
I'm sorry about that. My mum's actually sick at the moment, so I've had to be running around after her, and they just called in to do a doctor's appointment.
Oh, okay. No, that's fair enough, mate. Priorities are priorities in life.
Yes, so she's getting better, but yeah.
Oh, that's good to hear.
It's just frustrating.
Now, you okay with me recording this?
Yeah, I think so.
Yep. We can keep your...
Look,
I haven't said your name, so
ago.
we can keep your name out of it if you'd prefer. I haven't said who you are. I know who you are, so
Yeah.
that's fine. Now, you say this was a long time ago. It was about 30 years ago, yeah?
Yeah. I would have been like a teenager, I'm guessing.
Yeah, sure. I wasn't 30 years ago. I was in my 20s, but anyway, that's my bad luck. So, what state are you in now? You still in New South Wales?
No, Victoria.
Victoria now, okay. And what area of New South Wales did it happen?
I'm not 100% sure, but I can find that out. I'll have to ask Dad.
Oh, okay. So you're on a trip with the family, were you?
We were roos shooting.
Oh, okay.
So we'd gone to New South Wales to camp, and then I used to like going roos shooting with the blokes. So we went out, and the spotlight was on. They were aiming for kangaroos, and then they saw this thing creeping down the hill, and they had the spotlight, which you know what a spotlight looks like.
Sure.
Really pretty bright.
Yep.
And we were all like, "What the hell is that?"
Okay.
And it was it was cat-like, but it wasn't a panther. It wasn't black. It was more a goldy grey.
Okay. How far away was it?
A fair way.
Yep.
Not far enough for it to reach us, but it was in the paddock.
Yep.
But far enough for the spotlight to pick it up.
Sure.
But it wasn't scared of the light at all. It didn't shy away or anything. And of course, the bloke shot at it, and then it took off.
Okay. So they missed it.
Yeah. Oh, they were shooting at everything. But yeah, I still to this day swear it's one of those.
And when you say one of those, you mean?
The lion.
The Thylacoleo.
Yes, I didn't know how to say that word.
Yeah, it's a bit of a tongue twister, that one. Thylacoleo carnifex is the proper pronunciation of it.
Well, yes, I didn't even know that they existed until a few years ago.
Yep.
And I think you'd put something up, and I'm like, that looks like what I saw.
Okay.
Because I'd never been able to pinpoint what it was because, of course, panthers are black.
Yep.
And it didn't have fur like a lion or anything like that. It was pretty sleek.
Yep.
And just muscular.
So describe the animal to the best of your recollection. I know it was 30 years ago, so it was muscular, it was sleek.
Well, it was creeping down the hill, so it was like, because we had the spotlight on a kangaroo, so I don't know whether it was hunting the same kangaroo.
Yep.
But, yeah, it was on a prowl, like, as in, you know, cats get down and...
Yep, and creep along stealth-like.
Yeah, creep along.
Yep.
But it definitely wasn't a cat because of the colour. It was more of a reddy grey colour.
Yep.
And I remember the light on it. It was almost gold, but it wasn't gold.
Did you happen to recall? Did you take notice of the colour of the eyes under the spotty?
Oh, I wouldn't remember.
Okay.
I know they glowed, but I wouldn't remember what colour they were.
Sure, that's fine.
Because it was just so long ago. But yeah, it was large.
So as large as?
Well, at first we thought it was a kangaroo, but of course it had, you know, the back legs and the tail.
Yep.
So we definitely knew it wasn't a kangaroo, but it was bigger, longer than a kangaroo.
Okay, so it was a decent sized animal.
Yeah, I wouldn't say big enough to be like a panther cat, but up there with that size.
Sure. As big as a Labrador, big as a German Shepherd?
No, bigger than that.
Yeah, okay, so it was a decent sized animal.
Yeah. Probably somewhere between a large dog and a panther.
So were you in the vehicle, or were you on the back of the ute in the tray, or where were you? In
the vehicle. We had I think it was a bus we had.
Okay. So you're shooting out of the windows of the bus?
Oh, they just opened the side door and...
Okay, yep.
Yeah.
And you're on a farm property, someone that you knew, or...?
No, I think they were just crawling around doing illegal stuff.
How many of you saw it?
There would have been 4 or 5 of us at least.
Yep.
In the car.
And this is all family or friends and family?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep, all family.
Yep. And you can find out the area from speaking to your dad, you said?
Yeah, I can find that out if you need to know where it was.
Yeah, it'd be good to know where it was, just for mapping it.
Yeah. But, yeah, like I said, I hadn't seen one until a few years ago. I didn't even know they existed. And then as soon as I saw it, I went, that's what I saw.
And how long have you been in the group? Just out of...
Oh, years.
Yeah, okay.
Years and years and years. Probably 6.
Yep. So you've been there for most of the time we've been around.
Yeah.
It's amazing how many people sit in the group and they've had an experience, but they don't actually come out and talk about it for years.
Yeah, my sister she swears to God she saw a thylacine at Manx Road in Victoria.
Oh,
outside
okay.
Cranbourne.
Okay, yep.
We're actually up near Meenion.
Is that northeast of Melbourne?
It's Wilson's Prom.
Oh, you're down there, in Gippsland.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
yeah, there's many sightings down there.
Yeah, well, she's got one of the books and it says, they saw one in Meenion. It's like, this is right here.
Yeah. So how long have you been down that area?
Close to 7 years.
Yep. And your sister's down there too?
Yeah, she's been here a bit longer than me.
Yep.
But my son was actually dropping his old girlfriend off at the prom. She used to work there. And he swears he saw one too, coming out of the prom.
See, this is what I mean. You people sit back on this information. That's awesome. Yeah, look, there's a lot of sightings in the prom. I had a fella contact me last year who I spoke to reasonably at length, and he'd seen one on a school camp trip in about 1983 or something in the prom.
Oh, right. Okay.
So, there's all these rumours that they
this
let
wasn't
them...
that long ago. He would have seen that he's got a child with that girl, and...
Oh, so this was quite recent.
5 years ago.
Oh, okay, cool. Excellent.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he said, it was definitely, he's 100% that it was a tiger.
Yeah.
So...
Oh, well, if they want to share their stories, flick them my number. They can always get in touch if they want to have a chat about it.
Yeah, I'll have a chat to them because, like I said, we have even Foster. Like Foster's got their tiger as their emblem.
Yeah.
As you enter the town. So.
Yeah, that's right. They got that statue there.
Yeah, I will, and I'll find out what that location was. But I know it was New South Wales.
Yep.
And yeah, couldn't tell you the road. We were just sort of
that was about 30 years ago, so it's about 1990, 92, something like that.
Probably further back.
Okay.
I'm old. I'm nearly 50.
Yeah.
So I'd say
late 80s, early 90s.
About 16, yeah.
Yep. What year were you born?
72.
72, okay. So about 98, 99, something like that.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Yep, fair enough.
Because my kids were born in the 90s, so I know I didn't have the kids then, so...
Yep, sure.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So there was nothing... So how long did you see it before it took off? You had under spotlight?
Oh, it was a good 10 minutes.
Oh, really?
It wasn't scared of the light. That's what we were like... And we were all like, what is that?
Wow. 10 minutes? That's amazing.
Yeah, well, it was, like I said, they sort of shot at it to get it, because it looked like it was coming our way.
Yeah, so you actually... So
we don't know whether it was after a kangaroo that was,
or coming towards you.
Around, or coming towards us.
Yeah.
So we were like,
That's a justifiable reason to shoot at it.
Yeah. Thank God they missed it. Oh, I was always like, thank God they missed it.
Look, people disappear in the bush, and Victoria, I think on average about 6 or 7 people a year camping just vanish without a trace.
Yeah, well, after seeing that, I wouldn't be surprised because
I've
been closer to it.
I do believe that Thylacoleos eat people. I don't think they would be too fussed about what they hunted.
No.
Thylacines, you'd have to be pretty unlucky.
I couldn't believe this thing wasn't scared.
Yeah. And it was, so it looked cat-like, it behaved cat-like, but it clearly wasn't a cat.
Definitely.
And
you could see that its head wasn't a cat.
Yep, because you could see the front of it.
Yeah, the rest of the body kind of looked cat-like, because that's what we were saying. What the hell is that?
Yep. And was it up on its hind legs at any point in time, or it was always down on all fours?
No, it was all down on all fours, but doing the crawling.
So at first you thought it was a roo kind of grazing, and then it kept moving or something?
Well, that's what we were looking for, kangaroos. So, yeah, we saw it and we were like, oh, that's not a kangaroo. Why is it crawling down the hill like that?
Yeah. That's amazing. And the fact that there was 4 or 5 of you there to see it is just adds more credibility to what you've seen. So that's excellent. Yeah,
I'll speak to Dad more about it. Dad was drinking, so of course they might not be so.
Yeah, well, probably not a real responsible thing to do when you're using firearms, but we've all been young and foolish. We've all done silly things.
Stupid days.
Yep, absolutely. No, that's fair enough. I don't judge. I don't judge, because I've had people tell me that they've had these things in their sights and not shot because they didn't know what it was. Or then I've had people tell me that their dad shot them and buried them and didn't want anyone to know about it, so...
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, there's been dingo trappers that have caught them in traps. I'm talking thylacines now, not Thylacoleos.
Yeah, that's... Why? Why would they
Well, because they panic, and sometimes they just didn't know what it was. They thought it was a striped dingo. And there was a guy in South Australia that used to be a trapper that actually had the pelt. He'd made a little rug for kids to sit on with the pelt.
Okay.
So, and, that he knew what it was, but it was just one of those weird trophies that he had and didn't think much of it. And, people panic. They think, I don't want my property turned into a national park because we need this. And, that's fair enough, I get that. But... That's why I don't judge, because everyone has different motivations for all these different things that they spur of the moment. You panic and you think, do I do this or do I do that? And we all react differently to different things.
Well,
so
look at them, they shot at it. So
and there you go. And I would too if it was creeping up on me and I thought I was its next meal. I'd be shoot the bastard, get out of here. Let's go.
I know they got out of there pretty quick, smart, because of the way and the speed that it took off.
Yeah.
Like it just darted and gone.
Now, when it took off, did it run kind of normal? Was there anything you remember about its gait when it took off, or it was all over before it happened?
It pretty much was all over. Like, they shot at it, it darted, and it was out of the light. So
yeah,
it was gone.
So it was gone. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So, but while it was in the light, it was, it was like daylight, you could see it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it darted off that quick that, we looked around for a little bit and we just went, you know what, we're not going to hang around here.
Yeah, let's get the hell.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they were thinking big cat, but...
And have you spoken about it collectively as a family ever since, or it's just something you've kind of forgot about?
I think Dad's forgotten about it. I've never forgotten about it.
Yeah,
I've always I remember.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure there was another person in the car with us. I'll speak to her.
Yep.
As well, and see if she remembers, because we would have been about the same age.
Yeah, okay.
And
gone out for a shot.
Yeah. Well, we were just in the back seat going along for the drive.
Yeah, but, as you do.
Get away from the tent, but yeah, it was
these things are seen in Gippsland and Wilson's Prom as well.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
They're often described as looking like a massive quoll, only black, or a massive possum, only jet black and really, really big. So I believe there's probably more than one variety. I believe they're probably very rare. Endangered, maybe, I don't know. They're an apex predator. You don't often have a lot of apex predators in any area, really. Because they compete.
I believe they live in trees, but
they do.
That's just my opinion. But
they do live in trees, but they also dig a den, from what I've read and heard as well.
Oh.
So they will dig a den, and thylacines dig a den. That would make sense
with their babies, I suppose.
Yeah. So there's a sighting from Western, what's it called? Is it Western Desert National Park in Victoria from the 1960s of one running into a den underground.
Oh,
and there's lots of accounts of thylacines having dens and lairs underground too. So,
well, I suppose the pouch is backwards, so that would make sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Like a wombat.
Yep. That's it.
Digging holes.
Don't fill their pouch up with sand.
Yeah, but I do believe that they have great access to trees. I think they can climb better than we think they can.
Yeah, they can. They definitely can. Someone was telling me the other day about one running down a tree.
Running down?
Running
Wow.
down the tree. This thing came running down the tree. So if it's coming down a tree at great speed, it's extremely strong and got extremely good grip with those big claws.
Yeah, see, I remember watching when I was a kid. It was one of those midday shows, and they did an interview with some guy in Tasmania, and he said he had one as a pet.
And we're talking
And he
thylacine now?
Yeah, Thylacoleo. He said that he was in the middle of nowhere, lived there, and he had one as a pet. And he said every now and then it would just disappear. And he goes, and 2 hours later I'd get a visitor. He goes, so it used to lay in a certain spot in the sun.
Yep.
He said, and every now and then it would just disappear, and you wouldn't be able to find it. And sure enough, 2 hours later I'd get a visitor. And I remember thinking, well, no wonder no one can find them.
Yeah, they're incredibly intelligent.
Yeah.
They've got a great sense of smell. An Aboriginal lady that I spoke to a few years ago, she reckons kangaroos can hear with their feet the vibrations of you coming towards them. And she said thylacines are the same. They can hear with their feet.
Huh.
So they know you're
look at that big
coming.
pad.
Yeah, they know you're coming well before you get there.
Yeah.
So who knows? You know, animals are way smarter than what we are.
Yeah, all that stuff we don't know.
That's it. Awesome. All right.
Well,
look.
you're doing a great job, and I'm glad to try and help you in some way. I'll speak to my family, and
Yeah, just send us
if
a
they're
message.
interested, I'll pass the number on.
Yeah, that'd be great. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Thank you very much for your time.
No worries.
Cheers.
See you later, Neil.
Bye-bye.
Bye.